Hi, in this video, I'll be discussing the positive impacts of video games. Whether you are young or old, video games can impact you, the player, in a very significant way. I'm here to discuss and walk you through these impacts. First things first, let's talk about what is a game. Well, people have evolved to a point where we need something to satiate our ever-growing minds. We do not just focus on trying to get the necessities such as food or shelter anymore. For most of us, a problem is how we face to escape doing nothing. For hundreds of years, people invented a way to kill time and enjoy it. That's what we call games. Games such as chess and rock, paper, scissors have been entertaining people for decades. It is only till recent times that something known as video games has been introduced. Before going into video games, let's take a step back and look at games as a concept. A game is where a person actively seeks out a goal. In retrospect, this asks the question, can't everything be considered a game? An example is going to the store to pick up milk. I'm actively seeking out my goal, milk, and through the process, aren't I playing a game? After I get milk, didn't I win the game? In a very broad way of interpreting it, it could be seen that going to the store is actually a game. But if you think about it, it's a pretty boring game. What if we were to add different rules to the win condition? Saying, oh, what if you only had 10 minutes to go there and back? These new rules or win conditions create something more difficult which is more rewarding after it is completed. This concept is what differentiates a good game from a bad game. Let's talk about a game called FTL. This game has a very simple goal, get to the flagship and defeat it. But on the way, you're given many different rules that make this much more difficult. You have to have a certain number of gas and you'll have a certain number of times to travel. Rules and different win conditions is what makes a game very fun. And video games have the ability to stretch and form it into anything they can to make this game more entertaining. Now, before going into the positive impacts of video games, I think it's very important to equalize video game as a form of media. A lot of people say that video games are very detrimental to people and their behavior, but if put in the whole grand scheme of things, video games are no different from movies. Take this scene from this movie, for example. This is a very popular movie that's been playing all around the world, and the violence in this scene, it can be very comparable to any video game. Let's talk about education. Games can actually be very educational. They allow for more brain activity and exercise it like a muscle. Games like chess were actually first designed to teach others about war strategies. Let's look at this video game called Big Brain Academy. This game actually can stimulate your brain because of the different tasks it gives you at such a rapid pace. It can be very similar to like an IQ test. Let's watch. A new and upcoming trend for video games is actually something called esports. Esports is the professional scene of video games that allow people who have taken their video game skills to the highest profession. The global esports market actually has been growing quite well, which means that if you've been investing your time into video games, it may pay back if you can go professional. Take this scene from EVO, for example. These two players are very average people outside the video game realm, just like you and me, but they put so much time into this game that they're able to live off of it. Winning tournaments and getting sponsorships allow them to live it like a job. All in all, video games have a positive impact on people because of its ability to educate and also have a future for people. I believe that video games have a huge future coming in store and that we are constantly evolving it as a technology.